Good day, fellow geeks. On this week's episode of Geeks of Azeroth, we are fishing for something to talk about because Blizzard is not dishing it up. Stay tuned for more Geeks of Azeroth.
You're listening to the Blizzard Community Podcast, produced by geeks, for geeks. Welcome to Geeks of Azeroth.
Hello. Welcome to Geeks of Azeroth. My name's Tarly, and with me, as always, Britza.
Hello.
And we got Gary.
Hello.
And we got me. I'm Tarly. Again. Episode 150. Geeks of Azeroth. We've made it. 150 episodes. How have we continued to find something to talk about every week for 150 weeks?
Well, I think today's show proves that we haven't found something to talk about every single week.
And we're still toying with the stream settings, so if you're watching us live, I do see some viewers. It's probably just us, but if you're watching live and see issues, let us know. We'll try to fix the stream, but audio quality should be good anyway for a normal show. So yeah, we'll talk about what we've been doing the last week. I'll start off because I'm, again, immensely proud of our guild's progression. Apocalyptic Horsemen went at it again last night. Last week we were complaining and we were scared and just annoyed about how annoying Coven was. And we went in that Sunday night for 2 hours, and on the last pull of the night we killed it. It was nice.
Oh, nice.
And then we decided, after an intense guild leader meeting, that we were never going to do Coven again, and we were going to extend our lockout and go right into Agrimar progression last night, which we did. After 8 pulls, we downed that guy. It was an interesting mechanic from normal to heroic, but we pretty much had it down pretty easily. So good stuff. And we got some pulls down on Argus. That guy, it's pretty much the same from normal, just everything hurts a lot more.
Yeah.
And pretty sure we're going to have ahead of the curve tonight. So cool stuff.
I died from being bad last night on Argus.
You did.
That doesn't normally happen for us.
Then yeah, otherwise, I'm playing so much Overwatch lately. Just still watching my team lose in Overwatch League and ban the only player I like on the team.
That's
We'll talk. We'll get more into that.
Yeah.
I think that'll be an interesting thing to talk about. But Britta, how's your week, Britta? How's it been?
Yeah, it's not too bad actually. So with Wing 4 of LFR and Taurus coming down, it's I can finally finish the story and go see what's happening in Silithus, despite all the screenshots. And it was really good, really, really good. The great thing about it was I logged in with my mage because I wanted to get that legendary item from the quest. And I thought, I've got no legendaries on my mage, so at least I'll have one. My paladin's already got 2, so I can't be bothered to get a third or a fourth. So I logged in, and on the first boss, I got the legendary legs.
Huh.
So 100% of my drops from Antorus are currently legendaries. So I'm very glad to hang on to that stat. It's not going to last very long because
just don't run on Taurus again. Don't run on Taurus again.
No, no. And the worrying thing was, I think they might have fixed this. It might have been a patch bug, but for some people, the quest, the epilogue quest, didn't trigger when we did Antorus on LFR. So I was sitting there thinking, oh God, have I got to go back and do all of Antorus like in a week or something like that to trigger it? And thankfully I didn't. So I'm very glad that I could do the Silithus stuff.
I think a lot of people were confused about how that quest started because I couldn't find it. Yeah.
Well, it seems to happen when you're in Dalaran.
Yeah.
But it's difficult to say. Yeah, there's a few buggy things about it, but it seems to be fixed now. So if you happen to find yourself in Dalaran after you clear Antorus, you should be okay.
All right.
And that's about it, really. I'm trying to finish this Widowmaker unboxing video I filmed like 6 months ago. That's still will be out on Friday.
Getting one piece of the box at a time. Like, oh, here's another piece of foam. All right, we'll get back to that in a month.
Yeah,
keep unboxing it a little bit.
Literally peeling the polystyrene off. It's very fun. But hopefully, I'm going to have that video out on Friday. Perfect. So I'm looking forward to that as we reintroduce ourselves to YouTube. And Gary, you've got some brilliant ideas, so I expect to see them happen.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So Gary, what have you been up to in your week?
A lot of Overwatch. I haven't been able to bring myself to play WoW because last week in WoW I did a lot of stuff, and it was pretty bad. I mean, it was good. I got a lot done, but what? 16
Burnout phase finally hitting you, Gary.
Well, I did 16 Mythic Pluses, plus tried
my
to
God.
finish as high a keystone as possible on every character. And no, just no, not again.
Just no.
I'm probably still going to go through and do a Mythic Plus on all of my characters, because, things. I got time. But competitive Overwatch has been amazing lately, and I'm not losing every game. So
I am. I'm working my way down towards the single digits of bronze. That's my new goal. So I don't know why, but the games I get, out of the last 20 games, I've lost 15. It's pretty frustrating. But
That's pretty standard.
That is really frustrating. I've ran into a few games now where I play Widow, and people tell me to change, and then like halfway through the game, they're like, "Just stay on Widow. Just never mind what we said before. You're not being toxic. Just play Widow, please."
I've been a lot of games. I just turn off I turn off text chat. I turn off voice chat. And I just play Torbjorn, and I hope for the best. That's my strat going into games. It's not working very well.
I wouldn't think so. I fill most of the time, but there are some maps where Widow's really good, and I've been playing Widow really well lately. So, like, on those maps, I like playing Widow, and then people assume I'm just being toxic. No. It's a good idea. It's calculated.
It's interesting because a lot of the feedback from the commentators in Overwatch League is about communication and how some teams still haven't got communication. So I wonder if they turn off text chat and like voice chat and things like that, and like can't handle these trolls.
It seems like certain teams are doing that this week. And so while we're on the topic, it's time for our Overwatch League weekly recap. And we're going to talk about everything that happened in the league this week, and it's pretty standard to what we had last week, really. We're seeing lots of 4-0s happening again. Lots of... my music won't stop playing now. Okay, there we go. I couldn't get the Overwatch League music to stop. Okay.
You can't stop it. Once it starts going, you can't stop it.
Yeah. So, a lot of people's favorite team, like the team... Even the announcers were surprised is going this way. Went another week of straight losses, and that's the Dallas Fuel. Like, people going into the Overwatch League, like, this was the players' team because it had so many fan favorites. It had Custa, Coco, Mickey, Taimu, XQC, all these, like, streamers, all these, like, well-known names in the Overwatch community on this team. And they've gone in and still have lost every game they've played. Especially their game against Houston was embarrassing. Like, just they couldn't get the first point on Junkertown. Like, it's quite clear that team doesn't have a leader. They're just kind of... There's no communication. And we're seeing some really good stuff out of teams like, obviously, London. They're on fire. They're like my new favorite team. Los Angeles Gladiators are really good. Philly has been surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Even though they lost to LA, like, they put up such a good fight. Like, that, out of every match this week, I think Philly versus Gladiators was probably the best matchup. Just because...
honestly,
good stuff.
I really liked watching Shock versus... Oh, who did they play? Boston, yeah, last night.
Yeah, that was good too.
Went to Game 5. There's some amazing players on both teams. Like, I by no means do I think they're the top of the league or anywhere near it, really. But it was a really good game, and you can tell that there are some players that are doing really well, and the Shock especially is just improving really, really rapidly. Like, if we got to stage 4 of Overwatch League and someone told me that San Francisco Shock is now, one of the top teams, that wouldn't surprise me at this point.
Yeah, I really want to see more like games like that though. Like to see that we only had 2 games that were even a competition this week. We're kind of I don't know. It's almost like the league's already getting kind of draining to watch because the games aren't interesting. And that's definitely been the kind of the overall feedback in the community is that it's just been 3-0s, 4-0s, left and right, just kind of stomps, especially playing against Korean teams. I don't know if you happen to see Dynasty versus Florida. When the team walked on the stage, they were like doing this goofy like dance walk when they went to their computers. Like they went in knowing we're about to get 4-0'd, and that's just that's just how it is. And I definitely touched on it last week, but I think it's something that's going to have to be looked at moving forward with the format and everything. But there's just some teams that are significantly better than others, and it just makes the games less interesting to watch, for sure.
Did you guys watch the Valiant Spitfire map? I'm still working through Spitfire versus Dallas at the moment, but the fact that ended in a 3-2, so clearly,
LA
US team can put up a fight.
Yeah, the 2 LA teams I think are very, very good. Though Glad did not put up a fight against Excelsior at all. It's interesting because Glad did put up a fight against Seoul when they played them, but I want to see these Korean teams play each other. Why haven't they actually? Why hasn't there been New York versus Dynasty or Spitfire versus Dynasty yet? We need to see that happen.
It's not happening in week 3. I think probably like week 4. Week 4, London Spitfire, Seoul Dynasty. That's happening on Friday, the 2nd of Feb.
That'll be a good game to watch. I would still say Seoul's going to win, but it'll be good to watch.
I'm not 100% on that.
It's just because the Seoul team is like the core team from Apex that won like 3 years in a row, or 3 years. The game's not been around that long, but 3 seasons in a row of Apex is the Seoul Dynasty, and I mean they can definitely be beaten. If any team's going to beat them, it'd probably be London because London is really, really good.
Or New York. New York's been playing really well too, especially Pine. Like, so my favorite Western player at this point is probably Linkser on Outlaws, just because he's a god on Widow, and it's glorious to watch. But like, I watch Pine play, and I'm just like, you should be banned for cheating. I don't know what you're doing, but it feels like you're cheating.
It's you look at some players and they're just godly. I think that's the only way to express it, isn't it? And you think, in some ways, it's. I'm trying to think what some of the players. I can't remember which ones in particular, but the way they play the game as well is just completely alien to me. Like, the only thing I can liken it to is when I was playing Counter-Strike, and you get those players who would just literally, when they're running between maps, they would just almost like a tick or something. They would just rub the knife across every building surface they could, just because they couldn't keep themselves still. And you see that in all the teams pretty much, and particularly the Korean teams, is that they cannot stay still. They are just hyperactive on everything. And it makes the game that they're playing seem so weird compared to the rest of us who are quite probably slow and relaxed about most things and camping half the time.
My favorite thing to see in Overwatch League so far, I've noticed like every person who plays Tracer in the Owl will do the hello emote and then the melee afterwards. Because hello is with one hand, and then melee is your other hand. So you'll just see the Tracers go, ah. I'm like, what are you doing? Why? I don't know, but I love it.
I wonder why. I don't know why. Like everybody spam like sprays all the time, and I'm wondering if there's a reason to it, or if they just do it. If they're just spraying the walls as they run around for no reason. But I just half wonder if there's like some kind of animation canceling or something involved and why they're doing that. I don't know. But I've just been spraying everything when I play the game, and I think there's a reason behind it. But this just in, like,
it helped?
Literally 9 minutes ago. If you haven't been paying attention to Overwatch this week, every day they've been announcing new skins coming to the game next week with Blizzard World, and the loot boxes coming with those. And they just revealed new epic skins that are coming out, and for like Junkrat and McCree and Reaper, and the Reaper one is top notch, devilish Reaper. Very cool stuff. They just showed that off right now. Check it out on Overwatch Twitter or Facebook you haven't had the chance. So that'll be coming next week. That's cool. And new loot box stuff.
I want
but
the Sombra emote. Above everything else,
really cool.
I want the Sombra emote.
Yeah, the Sombra Puppet Reaper is pretty cool. But while we're on the topic of Overwatch League, there was a major controversy this week coming out of the Dallas Fuel again. They're probably, in my opinion, one of their best players, XQC, got banned for the entire Stage 1 games and at a $2,000 fine for slander that he said on his own personal stream towards another member of the Overwatch League. The controversy is, of course, like that kind of behavior shouldn't be tolerated in the Overwatch League. Of course, toxicity in the game should be kept at a minimum. That's what Blizzard wants to enforce. But for what a player says on his own personal time, free time when he's playing the game, should that affect him in the league is the controversy. And he's not kicked off the team. I mean, Dallas Fuel actually came out and made a really good statement about it, how they want to encourage and make XQC a better team player and blah, 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 blah. But still on the original point, do you guys think the ban was good?
Well, he was only suspended for like a game or two, right? Because Fuel came out and said, we're just benching you for the rest of this stage.
Yeah, it was 3 weeks, I think, from League. And then they came out and said, no, we're going to do it for the rest of the stage.
All right. So, honestly, I would say yes. So, you've seen people, there are people who, in every professional sport, that if you do stuff that is unprofessional and that can be a PR nightmare, you can get benched. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to make Overwatch League a real professional sport. So keeping that same mentality in line is a good thing.
I don't know. I guess the way I look at it, I mean, it's like trash talk is what gamers have done since. I mean, I remember the Halo 2 days of all these people knew my mom really well, but
they knew mine as well. Actually,
to get banned for it, I think is kind of ridiculous. I mean, it kind of seems like you're appealing to this certain group of people and trying to make the game a safe space, and it's like, I don't know. I definitely understand why people are upset that he got benched, but I do get. I don't know. I think there's both sides to the story.
So what we're saying
I think
is
the $2,000 fine is a bit out there. Like,
but so let's phrase this in like if we were in his shoes. If we were told, "Hey, you've got to act like a professional anytime you're playing this game because we're going to pay you as a professional to play this game."
Yeah.
Would you? Because I'm pretty sure at that point, like, if someone's like, hey, I will give you a salary of $50,000, and then that can still go up from performance, but you can't be toxic, and, like, you can't break terms of service, and you can't just generally be a jerk on your stream while you're playing the game, or in general, probably in media, because you're going to be in the public eye now.
Yeah.
I would jump on that, like, in a heartbeat. I'm like, yeah, you're paying me $50,000 a year at least to play Overwatch. Yeah, I'm good with that.
$100,000. I'm pretty sure they're all making $100,000 a year.
Probably more than that. I think it's
well,
$250,000 in some cases.
$50,000 a year is minimum salary for them. Like, that's minimum anyone in Overwatch League could be making. So, yeah. Do whatever you want at that point. Expect big things out of these people because they're getting paid and they've got insurance and they don't pay for housing. Like, they've got everything. Yeah, it's a stressful job, but expect a lot from them because you're allowed to.
And it's interesting because it comes down to brand at the end of the day. I mean, without naming the individual, there's obviously one particular YouTuber who has kind of slammed the entire reputation of YouTube at the moment as a decent judge of what is good and passable content, and that's what happens when you do it. Yeah, and that's what happens when you don't take a stand against this stuff quickly. Now, obviously, you've got to be objective. You can't just say, "Oh, it's the first week, and you've really tripped us up in the first week, so we're going to give you a $10,000 fine and ban you for the rest of the season." But he has damaged their brand and his brand, because at the end of the day, he's going to be the one on the adverts at BlizzCon or the one, in the sponsorship deals and things like that. And if he's tarnishing himself and the brand,
I mean, and not to mention too, I mean, they have advertised, like, he has his logo on his stream banner, and his sponsor, like the sponsor of Dallas Fuel, is Jack in the Box, which is a restaurant, if you're unfamiliar. And so they're sponsored by Jack in the Box, and so if a video of him calling this person the name that he called him with Jack in the Box in the corner, that doesn't, Jack in the Box themselves wouldn't be happy about that, and then Dallas Fuel would be like, no, he didn't mean it that way, so exactly. I guess they are pretty much, and I've looked at everybody who plays on the league and streams, they have all their sponsors and team names on their stream. It's like a part of what they do. So yeah, you're definitely on point there about the branding. Like, if anything, that's what makes the most sense of where the fines and everything comes from, trying to control that behavior. If anything, just to protect brands and sponsorships.
The other thing,
but I think,
too, and Alessandro kind of brought this up in chat too. We've noticed a lot of issues with like Dallas Fuel and their tanks, right? Like, XQC is probably their best tank, but their other tanks none of the tanks work well together, right?
No.
And
I think, like, him and Mickey play really well together, but they never play them at the same time. They always, like, swap.
Yeah.
Like, their team management seems to be really weird.
But how much of this could theoretically be caused by his toxicity? Because, as Alessandro said, if you're a jerk in general, you're probably a jerk in team interactions too. And maybe XQC, even though he's a really good player, is hurting his team. Because it would be hard to play with someone who's just constantly toxic and telling you how bad you are. Like,
that's true. Just another thing that XQC said about the league on his stream, it's very difficult the way with substitutions, and that's a format that I think everybody in the league's having a hard time adjusting to, because in traditional tournament play before the league, they didn't have it was just one team, and those were your players. The 6 players was the team. And you would get used to, you would learn how everybody that you'd play against, you'd learn how they'd play together, and you would just learn strategies against these players. But when you have people doing all these swaps, it's hard for you to learn who you're playing with and who you're playing against. And they say it's been it's been really tough. And so for teams like Dallas Fuel, who already have weird management, and they're in a place where they don't have one person who's a shot caller, one person who's like a leader. You can see, and other teams are having the same issues. Florida Mayhem also having the same type of issues. Where just management, they just don't have it, and they don't have a dedicated leader to call out stuff, and just weird stuff with the league. Hopefully, we'll see this kind of stuff resolved in the future. It's brand new. It's a brand new esport, and it's taking off like nobody expected it to. There's kinks to be ironed out for sure.
A bit of. I think the most
go on, Ritz. It's your turn.
Yeah.
It's Britz's turn.
It's Britz's
turn to talk.
I was going to say, small point, but do you think having 12 players is too many?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not a fan of the format, really, of that, like having substitutions and stuff. I don't think it's good for the team play at all. Especially the Korean teams that have.
I was going to say Spitfire seems a lot weaker now they've tried
share
to
the love.
mix
Just
up stuff.
Send all those players to new American cities. Seattle needs a team.
No, London needs them. We've got one thing good going for us in Britain, and it's a Korean esports team.
Get a Colorado team. Get all these like big cities in America. Get more teams.
Honestly,
share the Koreans.
I really like it though. I really like the substitution, and yes, it is a big thing to work out. But with the fact that you're expecting these people to play 40 games over 6 months competitively, and tournaments and playoffs and like all this stuff on top of it, having more than just 6 people is probably a good thing, especially since the league's already shown hey, if you're a jerk or if you do things wrong, we're going to not let you play games. So only having 6 people means your team would not play. Like, I think it's a good thing. I think people just need to learn how to adapt to it. And it seems like a lot of teams that are like, these are our core people, and then we sub out between the other, 2, 3, 4, however many it is. Those are the teams that you're seeing a lot of success from. Like, these are all-stars, and we know it, and we're going to keep them. But then we're going to spread some other people around, so we've got multiple strategies and stuff that we can take advantage of.
And I know you joked about it, Tali, but the interesting thing is that when those contracts come up for renewal and we get what is effectively the transfer season,
right?
Then those players, like XQC says, who feel they haven't had a chance to really show their stuff, will just say, well, actually, Dallas are going to, oh, not Dallas, but someone else is going to take me and offer me, it's not about the money, but offer me the playtime.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that, but if they are going to do like a draft or if stuff like that's going to happen, like big team switches,
that'd be huge.
Yeah, it would be.
It'll blow up Twitch.
I think that would help too. I mean, with a lot of things, like, I mean, maybe some people wouldn't agree, but like, because we have some of these teams that have been together and that they just play so well together versus some teams who all got drafted together and don't know each other and maybe they don't work well together. Like, sure, there's 3 members of Dallas Fuel that used to be envious before the Overwatch League, but the rest of them are just trying to fill in and figure out what's working. So yeah, I mean, maybe switch stuff up.
They could just do it completely random, like get 6 players random into a life-size loot box, and each team has to go around and pick a loot box, and that's the 6 players you get for the season.
Yeah, and Alexander in chat, don't bring up StarCraft. That's a dead game.
I know.
I'm with you, Alexander.
Let's talk about WoW a little bit now, shall we? So we're kind of caught off guard. Not really. We all knew it was coming. Suck it, Taliesin. Suck it. Patch 7.3.5 came out on Tuesday. I love Blizzard's way of doing this. Just like they say the day before, like, hey, the patch is coming out. Good on them, I guess. But as Taliesin would say, it's been a shit show in the forums talking about the new scaling. Which I really don't understand why, for the most part. I mean, I've hopped in, I level a character to 10 at least to see what it's like, and I'm really, really happy with it. I think leveling is now in a good place because it's, and I installed some add-ons recommended by Bellular on his YouTube channel for more like immersive gameplay, kind of make it feel like you're playing a game when you're leveling a character. So I did that, got the dynamic cam add-on and then like these quests that changes the quest dialogue a bit, and it feels a lot better to play lower level content in the game. You're actually having to kill stuff and not just one shot everything while you're running around. It's good, and you're not feeling rushed out of a zone.
I think honestly the difference is, do you want to play a game or do you want to get to max level as fast as possible? Like, if you want to play a video game, the new way is better because you're actually playing a game. If you just want to hit max level as quick as possible, then the old way is better because you can hold W while pressing 1 and eventually hit 110 pretty quickly.
Yeah. I do agree with the point that maybe they shouldn't have taken away the amount of XP you get from stuff. Like, the leveling and the scaling is great, but why should it take longer to get through? Like, maybe it should still just be a faster process to get through. I get that part of the conversation. I get that argument. StarCraft is not that game. It's just changing to Heroes of the Storm. Okay, that is actually pretty accurate.
StarCraft is Heroes of the Storm now.
StarCraft of the Storm.
I think Diablo's doing the same as well, to be honest. So.
Anyway, I would maybe if they adjusted the experience so it was still maybe not as long of an experience to get to max level, but overall, I still think the change is good for how the game feels, and I actually agree with, again, Taliesin's point on it was actually a great point that he made, or a great analogy. It's a lot better to watch 10 hours of Breaking Bad versus 1 hour of watching paint dry, because Breaking Bad is actually enjoyable, right? So it's like, even if it takes longer, the way the system works now is it's more fun, and you'll enjoy it better than just this senseless grind that leveling felt before.
Yes.
I mean, have you guys had a chance to hop into the lower zone, try it out on a lower character?
I will at some point. I think I'm just trying to tidy up current content. But I guess by the same analogy, some people would feel that the 9 hours free time they can spend after watching paint dry is better than the 10 hours of watching Breaking Bad.
You're looking too long. You're looking too much into the
maybe.
analogy.
I need to have a chat with Taliesin in more detail about this thing. But I totally stand by it. I think it's one of those things where I'll jump into it when I start focusing on alts in the next couple of months.
Yeah,
or so.
I really haven't put as much into it as I want to, because it does look like a cool system, and I am happy with what I've played, but I really don't want to. I know I'm going to be leveling 6 characters very soon, so I don't want to just do it on a character that's not going to matter, really. So once we get those allied races, though, then I will fully hop into it.
And they're coming next week, right?
When pre-orders. I'm still standing by. They'll come in pre-orders.
I have realized that I've made a huge mistake on my characters, and I have yet to get High Mountain to Exalted on anyone. So I've got to do that.
That's really interesting. Because I was thinking the same thing doing some of the Army of Light stuff. I have the requirements, but I did sit and wonder, like, all the people who are calling for allied races, will they just get them unlocked and then think, crap, I actually haven't got the rep unlocked to do it? So in a sense, it kind of feels like, well, actually, I don't want them yet because I'm not ready for them. So can you hold back, Blizzard?
That's what I'm kind of worried about. Still have no idea what the Void Elf one is, but I have a feeling it's...
Reach.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Is it Exalted?
Yep.
Rip. Yep. Oh, yep. I don't have that
Which
one.
no one has, probably.
I may not be playing Void Elves because I hate the Argus content so much. I might not even I don't want to go back and get that.
Just
at all.
Use the WoW app for it. You've got 12 max level characters, right?
Yes.
So just do the Argus, do the start of the Argus stuff to get all of your followers up to that 900, and then do every single mission table thing that gives you rep with the Argusian, and then just ship it all to one character.
Yeah, I mean,
and if you've got like an Insta World Quest complete, use that on them as well in Argus. You'll get like 1,000 rep a day.
10 of those alts don't even have like mission table characters. Like I just leveled them and then never touched them again.
Oh, you didn't even bother with like the class campaign?
Yeah, no.
Well.
They're just sitting there going, like, when's Master coming back? He said he was going to go fight the Legion, but he just hasn't come home.
I've never had
He's just
this
been standing
issue.
there, staring blankly.
I've never had this issue because every time I level a character, I'm like, this character's great. He's going to be my new main. And then I go through and do all of the class campaign and go get the new mount or the class
and then you're
mount.
Like, oh, I need to play a different class now.
Yeah.
We need this for raid.
And then rinse and repeat, and now I have like 7 class mounts of my like 10 110s, I think.
You need at least 2 more. You definitely need at least 2
I got my Monk and Death Knights one. Those are the only ones I cared about, really.
I don't have Death Knight.
Death Knight is still, again, and I've said it since Legion came out, by far the best story content out of any of the classes. And that the mount quest was still kept up with that. It was really awesome. It was like your Arthas raising the dragon out of the frozen waste. It's dope.
Yeah.
I'm sure we could have a big discussion on the best class, because I'm not entirely sure. I haven't played Death Knight yet. I might do that next. I've got a Death Knight ready for it.
I would agree it's got one of the best class campaigns. I actually really liked the Priest class campaign, too.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I did play a bit of my Shadow Priest when I leveled it up and stuff. I played the campaign a bit. Shadow Priest is interesting because of your waifu, Weapon Fu.
Yeah.
I
highly recommend anyone who's done or who's got a 110 priest and hasn't got the class mount, go do that.
Get the derp owl.
Get
Go
the
get your
derp owl. The owl itself may not be that great, but the quest line leading up to it is actually a lot of story, and it was really cool. I really enjoyed it, so I heavily recommend that one.
So while we're on the topic, I mean, so we've had a new patch out for almost for 5 days now, and we haven't gotten new content on a PTR. No notes. Still nothing about beta. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. Where is it? Where's the info, Blizz? We need it. Especially if Gary wants to be right about something, then your info needs to be coming out like right now.
No.
I'm going to make a prediction on this.
Okay.
I think Monday or Tuesday, the World of Warcraft Twitter feed is going to announce a Q&A with Ian Hazakostas that will happen either on Thursday or Friday this week or Thursday or Friday of next week. And then they'll spell out what they got planned for the pre-orders and things like that.
I certainly hope so, because we're almost completely through January and still nothing. Still nothing. So, Liz, all eyes are on you, Mr. Hazakostas. We're watching.
Or maybe he might just give Jeff Kaplan a run for his money and just sit in a chair for 10 hours and have us wait.
Yeah. What if he just hires on Jeff? He's like, your game is working out so much better than ours is right now. I need you to just work on 2 games at once. And then Jeff Kaplan comes and runs WoW too. And Jeff used to run WoW, so he'd be like, all right, I'm back. Memes.
Did he?
Yeah.
I can't remember what Jeff Kaplan did before Overwatch. Okay.
Yeah, he was on.
I'll have to check.
Yeah,
what was he doing?
He was on the WoW team. Well, he was on the WoW team up until Wrath, and then he moved on to Titan, which then turned into Overwatch.
Oh. Fair enough. So he literally touched World of Warcraft when it was at its best, and then disappeared to create the best esports league ever made.
You see what Papa Kaplan does, and
he's incredible.
Pretty sure he's also involved in this big secret Blizzard project, so that I don't know if we mentioned before, but has vehicles. Did we touch on that in the show?
Probably.
Yeah, they were looking for designers, weren't they? Who were
looking for designers
trained in vehicles.
Yep. So, Overwatch, it's going to be an Overwatch battle royale. Just you mark my words, that's what's going to happen. Just a bunch of tracers falling out of the sky. Wow! Oi! Wow!
Like literally a promotion for Ready Player One.
Yep. Well, so while we're on that topic of battle royales, we're just going to branch into gaming right here. Have you guys seen Paladins Battlegrounds?
No.
Have you seen the trailer for that?
No.
Oh my god, we just need to stop with the battle royales. It's getting ridiculous. We've got the 2 big ones. We've got Fortnite and PUBG, and now we've got like so many people trying to copy it. There's 7 that have been announced already that are in development for 2018, and one of them being the Overwatch ripoff, Paladins. It's like the free-to-play game from the people who made Smite. That's a total ripoff of Overwatch, and now they've announced a mode for it, literally called Paladins Battlegrounds. And
oh my god, it's not even subtle, is it?
No, it isn't. And it's been a meme kind of this last week.
I mean, they have stayed as far away, or they've got as close to the actual character designs of Overwatch as legally possible without causing a lawsuit.
And all the abilities and stuff, yeah. And so the Battlegrounds game is literally the hero. Like there's, I think, 6 heroes that you can pick out of their pool that are available for each round, and every player, all 100 players will have the choice between those 6 heroes, and it's random every round. So that's how it'll work. So you'll have these heroes, you'll have the abilities like in normal Paladins game, but in a battle royale, and it's forced into third person when it's normally a first person game. So it's like, what are you doing? What are you trying to accomplish here? Just trying to hop on a cash cow, and I'm still sold on the idea that Blizzard will try to do it, because that's what Blizzard does, is they take an idea that everyone else is doing and they try to do it better. And I'm just hoping, no, Blizzard, please just don't do it. Halo is rumored to have a battle royale this year on Xbox.
That's fine because that's their own IP.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at this now, and there's one image where I was looking at the knight character, and I thought, okay, I see it's kind of a Reinhardt, but maybe they're doing something different. No, in one image, he literally extends the shield, and it creates a large force barrier.
Yeah.
And he's doing that right next to a dwarf with a turret.
Yeah.
It's
Paladins.
not even subtle.
I mean, Paladins isn't even subtle, and they got mad when people called it We're like, no, we were in production before Overwatch. What? Like,
No
shit,
way.
No.
BS.
Yeah. So it's interesting. I don't know if you listeners are getting sick of battle royales yet, but certainly am. But I would like one company to actually make a good one. Because, like, Fortnite is decent, but the gunplay is terrible. PUBG is decent gunplay, but the rest of the game is pretty terrible. It's like, can one company just make a good battle royale? And it just be the good game? It's
Really,
polished.
What we need is PUBG with the polish of Fortnite. Like...
Yes.
If PUBG actually ran well, like you didn't glitch through stuff, randomly die from falling when you try and tip over a motorcycle.
Your vehicle decides to just fly into the air after hitting a rock.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Then we'd have a good Battleground game.
Yep.
Or we could just... 100 tracers.
Stardew Valley Battle Royale, yes. Everybody starts with their own little plot of land, and everybody's just trying to grow their corn faster than everybody else. And then they just side each other to death. Yes, please. Please. And please make it available on Switch. Really, I just want Brits a Battle Royale. I just want 100 Brits falling out of the sky, and then I'd be happy.
I definitely don't want that. Listening to my obnoxious voice all the time, that would just be awful.
But we're running out of time, so I'm going to roll us into the final segment of the show. It's time for Blizzard 20 questions.
Geeks of Azeroth, the moment has arrived. Have you studied the lore? Studied the lore? I am the lore! It's time for Blizzard 20 questions.
100 beards caught in the letterbox. Kale, I like that. That is the Blizzard, just 100 Torbjorns, everybody spamming the voice lines.
Don't get your beard caught in the letterbox. Yes.
Don't get caught with your beard in the letterbox.
That's the one.
Yes. Believe me, I know. I spam it all day.
Yeah. It is hilarious how triggered people get over your voice line spam.
Yeah. Yep. That's why I do it. Anyway, let's start the 20 questions. We got sidetracked. Go ahead and start.
Is this from WoW?
Yes, from WoW.
Is this a character?
Yes. And no, Ali, it's not from StarCraft. Why would I pick something from a dead game? Why?
Is this a male character?
No.
Is it a female character?
Yes.
Okay. You never know, it could be N'Zoth, and N'Zoth is...
N'Zoth is a girl. Yeah, definitely.
Don't assume that.
It's 2018.
Okay, is this a character that is still alive?
Yes.
Now, we end up always wasting about 5 questions trying to narrow down the expansion. So I'm trying to think if there's a clever way to do that.
Is this character a playable race?
Yes. Well, I'm going to go with yes.
So it's maybe.
You're going to go with yes. Maybe a playable race. Are you checking?
Yes.
Race unknown. Alessandra asked whether it's before or after Kata.
Do you mean currently playable, or like we know it's going to be playable in battle?
Yes or no questions only.
Okay, so let me reuse my same question of if it's playable, because if it's playable in battle, it's not playable right now, so it's not a playable race. Is that answer still the same?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are we? Oh, of course we are. Then we get into a whole debate about whether they're Legion content or battle content. What could we choose? Is this a character that belongs either to the Alliance or the Horde?
No.
Oh, I should probably get better at writing these because I've put male character and female character. Not really making it very clear, am I? Has this character been in the game since vanilla?
No.
Has this character been around since Legion?
What? Yes. What?
Oh, what I'm trying to say is, was this character introduced on or after Legion?
No.
No.
Is this character a magic user?
Yes. Here, I'll type it out. I got you.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. That's 10.
So magic user, female character around since vanilla does scream one.
I didn't say it was around
particular
since
character.
vanilla. I said no.
Oh, of course you didn't. Ah. Magic user. Prominent female magic users. I'm trying to think. Could be literally anyone. Anyone with a mana bar. Does this character belong to...
Ali is asking great questions in Twitch chat. That I would...
all of those. Is it Magatha Grimtoten?
No.
No. Alessandro, you let us down. What about Kata or before? Was that when the character was introduced?
Yes.
Woohoo! Does this character belong to an instance?
No. You guys are phrasing your questions weird today.
Yeah, I think we're making a lot of assumptions. So we got female character, still alive, belongs to a playable race, introduced in or before Kata, but not vanilla. Magic user and doesn't belong to an instance. Was this character introduced in Legion? Not Legion. Burning Crusade. Same thing.
No.
Same expansion.
Legion 1.0.
No. Yeah, Legion 1.0. Alessandro's asking whether it's Maev.
Well, you would have just answered that with
Yeah.
that question.
Of course. Of course.
Was this character introduced in Kata?
No.
Okay, so it was a Wrath character. Spellcaster in Wrath that is a playable race but doesn't belong to a faction. Also would not be a
That's what's throwing me off.
panda or a goblin or a worgen.
That's a
I really thought
Playable
this would
race.
be an easy one for you guys, but I'm quite satisfied now.
It's your easy ones that screw us over the hardest, though. We can guess the most complex ones you put together, but it's the ones that it's right in front of our faces that we'll never see.
Is this character an elf?
No. 5 questions left.
Okay, yeah, I'll try and narrow it down. Does this character, are they one of the Alliance playable races?
Yes.
Alessander asks, was it in a dungeon or raid?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, it was.
You asked if they belong to one, which I assumed belonging to an instance means that is their exclusivity is in that instance.
Ah.
Which is no. But are they in a dungeon or a raid? Yes.
Magic user. So we're looking for a female Alliance race magic user who was introduced in Wrath of the Lich King and has at least some part in a dungeon or raid, but doesn't exist solely in it. Scratching my head around all the Wrath stuff.
So
Which seems so long ago, and is justification for why I probably should go back and level something.
So it would have to be human, gnome, dwarf,
Draenei.
Draenei. Let's be real, Draenei didn't exist in Wrath. I mean, they did, but no story.
No one
character.
played them. Fair point. The Draenei didn't have really a major plot element in Wrath, as far as I remember. And we've ruled out Elf.
Yeah.
So-
You've got three questions remaining.
So
and the final question has to be your guess.
it would have to be gnome, human, or dwarf.
Oh, hang on. Is this... I'm thinking out loud here to Gary. When Tali says playable race, is that like they're like the Dragonflight, where they kind of are a playable race in human form, but they're not? Or...
dragons are dragons, right?
Yeah, okay, we're agreeing that dragons are dragons. Okay.
Like,
at least on our side of this question. Tali might
Chromie's
be
race
different,
is
but-
not gnome. Chromie's race is dragon.
I don't know, I'm trying to make out Tali's facial expression. I'm willing to waste a question on it.
If you said that we could play a dragon, I would call you a liar. So I'm
But when
going...
have you ever seen Chromie in any other form other than her gnome form?
Yes.
She's practically gnome. I don't think I can't remember her using her dragon form
Yeah.
ever.
But she is still a dragon.
But then was someone like Chromie introduced in Wrath?
I mean, I would say Alexstrasza or Alexstrasza. Always mispronounce
Should we ask the question just in case?
I don't know, because I don't want to waste a question on something that would...
Yeah, but Alexstrasza doesn't. Oh, hang on.
Alexstrasza does fit everything. Except, no,
We're
because
narrowing it
she's
down
got
so
long
much.
ears, so it would be...
Yeah, but Alexstrasza would work because she was introduced in Kata and she has a major part in the Kata raids and instances.
Yeah, but she's got long ears, so if he was defining it by the race that they take the form of, it would be an elf.
I also
don't know.
didn't say they were introduced in Kata.
In Wrath.
Oh no, Wrath. Oh, you didn't say it, but we've assumed it. And if we're wrong, then screw, we've lost this.
I mean, we've gone through the rest of them. You said it...
3 more questions. Keep it moving, guys. Ask a question.
Alessandra? Kale? Anyone?
Help us. Um,
I'm gonna be defiant. Tali, is this one of the Dragonflight?
Yes.
Hey!
you lied! It's not a playable race. I can't play a dragon.
Not yet. Coming in Battle for Azeroth.
Well, if you recall when you asked me the question, is it a playable race? That was my my iffy answer. Didn't quite know how to answer that.
Okay, I'm with this. So we just got there's only 2 options I think that he would choose, and it's Chromie or Alistraza, and we can guess those. There's no other significant. But I mean, there's the Black Dragonflight lady at the top of the tower, but no one even knows her name. So
Yeah, the rest. Well, no, because it couldn't be Sarah, because then he would have answered yes to Elf, right? Fuck.
yes. Let's just go for it. Is it Alistraza?
No.
Oh, damn. I think we've only ever lost one before.
Final question. This has to be your guess.
Alison says Chromie was in Classic. Oh, God. Oh, God. Female member of the Dragonflight. Oh, okay.
Chromie?
Let's just go with Chromie.
Was it
Chromie?
It's Chromie.
Alessandra was explaining that.
I thought
less.
Chromie was introduced in Wrath. I'm misinformed. That when you heard me typing when I was looking for something, that's exactly what I was looking for. Was when Chromie was introduced to the game.
You're a Wrath baby. You can.
I am. So pretty much anything was introduced to Wrath in my eyes. Yeah, it was Chromie. Took a long while to get there, but
Chromie's not a gnome, she's a dragon.
she's a gnome.
No, she's a dragon!
She's a gnome.
I'm looking
Anyway.
up Dragonflight Nomi. I'm going to see what she looks like as a dragon. But anyways,
Thank you, everybody, as always, for listening to Geeks of Azeroth, and thank you guys for tuning in live on Twitch. If you don't watch us on Twitch, you can always check us out on Twitch, Twitch TV/Geeks of Azeroth every Sunday morning, and we announce on Twitter at Geeks of Azeroth when we're going live. Otherwise, you can check us out on iTunes, Stitcher, whatever your favorite podcasting platform, and check me out. Follow me on Twitter at EpicGeeksTarly, and Gary, where can we find you?
At Epic Geeks Gary.
And Britza.
at Britzer_EG.
And of course, you can always donate money to us, help the cause of Geeks of Azeroth at patreon.com/Geeks of Azeroth, because we want your money. And otherwise, everybody, have a great week in Azeroth. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.